All right, I just finished watching Personal Shopper. Second time I've seen it. Loved it the first time, love it the second time. There are basically three things I take away from this. One, after kind of watching a review of Mark Kermode, and I love Mark Kermode, I can kind of understand why he had a problem with what this movie was kind of about. Is it about a personal shopper or is it about a medium? I'll come back to that, but I recognize that potential. Didn't affect me, still loved it, but I get it. The second thing is, how important is it that a movie, part of the storytelling process, can be someone that you just can't take your eyes off of? Kristen Stewart she's not just stunning. There's something about her that's interesting. The way she moves, it's that unquantifiable thing that stars just have. It carried me through, and I just can't stop looking at her. I feel like but I mean it's not like I'm watching her outside of her house or something like that. But it carries you through. It's so important, or can be so important in the process of storytelling. That's the second thing I noticed. The third thing I noticed is that it's just beautifully shot. It's so beautiful. It's almost like I don't want to say anything bad. I love Tarkovsky, the filmmaker, but everything with him is similarly beautiful, but takes a long time to get there. This felt like a hybrid of sort of a pop culture movie with that, where it felt like everything was done so beautifully. The aesthetic look of every shot was so stunning. All three of those things, I think, go into why I love this movie. I love the characters. I love the story. Now, getting back to the first thing about it being, is it a story about a medium? Is it a story about a personal shopper? Personal shopper being, if you haven't seen it, she shops for famous people. It's famous in that world. We wouldn't recognize her. Famous in Paris, so it's even one step removed. She's the same size as her, so she goes around and tries out jewelry or dresses or whatever, and then takes them back. And in the process of doing that and paying her rent doing that, which she doesn't seem to have a lot of money, but she's hobnobbing with these rich, wealthy celebrity types. So she probably has a little bit of cheddar sprinkled her way. But it seems like she's not she's not rich. She's still paying her rent. I don't know about check to check, but if somebody were to say, hey, we don't need you anymore, I feel like she would be in a little bit of trouble. But simultaneously, she has this side gig going for herself, which is she's a medium and can talk to spirits. It is a kind of a weird combination, and I feel like if I had seen the screenplay and not read it, or not, back in the early stages before the movie, let's say it wasn't made, and somebody handed me a script and it was about I would go, yeah, that's kind of a weird combo. How is this gonna work? And for me, after thinking about it, it does seem like, I don't know if there's crossover there, but it kind of reminded me of this thing that you might be good at something, and it seems like she's good at being a medium because she gets hired by people before they're buying a house or whatever. Especially in Europe, you're talking about buildings that are so old, right? It makes sense that you would want to see if there's any sort of energy or trapped spirit or something like that in a place that you're going to spend a lot of money on. But what really stuck out to me was this idea that you, even with that sort of interesting power, superpower, whatever you want to call it, you still have to struggle through, like the rest of us who are working at Arby's or Office Depot or whatever. It doesn't seem like someone who could tap into an energy. Wouldn't that be useful in a scientific setting or in a lab or in a research setting? So that kind of stuck out to me of I don't understand why this person is still having to personal shop. Once you kind of prove that you're able to communicate with something, or you're able to, and people can see it, because there are visuals in the movie that only she's seeing, I think. Other people see the results of it, like sort of, I don't want to spoil it, but maybe go watch it and then come back and finish this. Okay, welcome back. Her brother dies, and at the end, you can see him, the ghost of him, walking behind her with a coffee cup. And then when it breaks, she goes and picks it up. Of course, he's not there, but other people are seeing the broken coffee cup. Is my point. It's not like she's the only one who's seeing anything to do with it. It does seem that she's a legitimate medium. So that part really stuck out to me of why is she having to struggle? It seems like kind of a big thing that you'd want to tap into if you were a physicist or some sort of a conceptual scientist that dealt with these sort of things. But aside from that, it's just a good watch, and you kind of get the sense that something dark is happening. Something dark is happening, but it's enjoyable. It's not a horror movie. It's not the kind of movie where somebody's going to jump out and scare you. I don't think, anyway. And you could throw that in combination with great acting. Kristen Stewart is fantastic in it. She carries the whole thing. It's sort of like the movie Castaway. How many people could play that role and carry it off? Not many. And I think that's kind of the case with this. You could really fail with the wrong casting for this movie. Thankfully, they got it right. So I loved it. I still think it's great. It's one of my favorite sort of quick watches, the 2-hour, interesting, very unique and beautifully shot films of the 21st century. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And if you have, or you have something to add, please put it below. I love having conversations about things below, about movies. So let me hear it. Personal Shopper, 2 thumbs up.